The I'm assuming that a lot of like when you're pitching a Vive Pro 2 or a Vive Focus Business Edition, there's going to be a more enthusiast crowd who's going to be purchasing this. And there's not many ways for someone to spend like people like me who spend all that money to get into the original Vive. Like we're early adopters. We're anomalies. That's not normal. That's not healthy to a degree. Like we're spending a lot of money for try
Hey,
something the unknown, right? Um,
yep.
Putting COVID aside, because that's going to kind of be the out for most of this answer, does HTC have any thoughts on ways that when you're trying to actively acquire new VR users where it's not the enthusiast crowd, maybe that's going to be your bread and butter? What ways are you trying to convert these to potential new customers and users when they can't really try it at all?
Yeah, so I mean it when I said it that other players in the market that are basically subsidizing their headsets and hardware is not bad for the ecosystem.
Mm-hmm.
So we have decided, and many companies have decided that fighting that face on and losing money in every product is a no go. But what we're doing is, you know, people who would never had been able to try VR is getting to this space because of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so our positioning is that, hey, now that you try that, you like VR and you want to upgrade that experience, we want to be there. We want to be in that position so that you immediately recognize that our products would be an upgrade. It's more expensive. It's a premium product, premium experience. You went from, I don't know, like a Prius to a Tesla. It's a premium experience. It's more expensive, but when you're ready, you really love the experience. You want to take it to the next level. We want to be there, ready for you. Yeah, and there's things we do very well. There's things we can improve, but overall, that's us, right? So we're not. So generally speaking, as of now, could change in the future. As of now, uh, we're not trying to convert people who don't care to casual users. We're either
Mm-hmm.
getting casual users to serious VR users, or people who don't know they should use it to immediately become serious users.
That makes sense, especially with the products that you came out with kind of directly after. So, like the people that I speak with the most who are really into the immersion, who are putting everything into the ultimate VR experience. A lot of them are using the Vive Pro 2. A lot of them are doing the wireless adapter because they don't want any wires. A lot of them love the lip tracker, which I do as well. I wish it was compatible with VR chat, but they're just not going to get on that quite yet. But it's clear to me that you are investing in the Apex immersive experience. When you guys are putting out stuff like the lip trackers, what's the next endeavor when it comes to immersion that HCC would like to focus on the most? Is it something like better haptics, or that's probably one of the biggest ones? But what's down the pipe for the ultimate VR experience that HCC would like to be part of?
Yeah, so that's beyond what I'm able to share. So all I can say is we are working really, really hard to invest in all innovations of the future. So anything you read on the internet that's like, oh, that next big thing, that's big, that's hot, that's going to be the future. We probably have a lab that's looking at that research, seeing if it's viable and see what we can do with it. So that's all I can share, unfortunately, about our future offerings.
Can you share if you guys can force the hand of VR chat at all to allow modding of the Vive face tracker? I would love that.
Uh, I think there has been conversation. So, by the way, keep in mind a lot of the questions you're asking is a lot of other departments and units.
Yes.
So I don't know the inner details. So I'm just sharing when it's also not their official statement. But obviously, we would love VR chat to be able to use the facial track, and I think a lot of people would want that. Again, VR chat is about social, right? And one of the things we're really into is we want to create what we call empathetic VR experiences.
I like
So
that.
it's not just it's not just the body limbs moving, but if you can bring empathy into VR, you can tell the look of admiration, let's say, in VR. I think that would be amazing. One of the things that I envision is like, let's say you're watching a movie with, let's say, your significant other, girlfriend, fiance that lives afar, right?
Hmm.
And you're both watching a movie together in a virtual space, and then you can just turn your head and look at her, just look at the screen in amazement, and just wow, my life is so good, right? It's because I always think the movie is just an excuse to enjoy each other, and so if that can actually happen in VR, I think that's amazing. So we do want a lot of these things to eventually get into the space. And I think VR chat is the perfect place to do it. But just like any other team, they're very busy with all sorts of
Yes.
projects, innovation. They have months and months of work lined up. And so it is difficult for anyone to just say, hey, stop your original plans and shove this in. But I think they most likely do see the community requesting this, like, hey, we'd love more facial tracking in VR chat. So I would imagine they would want to look into it more and prioritize a bit more than usual.
I like that vision a lot. It's pretty beautiful the way you put that on the. I never thought about the movies being a good way to enjoy each other, but that's a powerful message, especially the more I speak with like the rise of the VTuber right now. They're everywhere, and the first time I spoke with one, it was very off-putting. Very there's just not a lot of organic feeling to them. But as the tech has grown and we're adding more things like the lip tracker, like eye tracking, they are becoming so expressive that I can enjoy their company to the same degree, if not more, because of the endless possibilities of the environment that we're in, than IRL. It's pretty powerful. I do want to jump out of consumer talk because I know there's just like a ceiling on how far we can go there. But before we started talking unofficially here, Bifocus Business Edition and the business uses, you guys are putting a tremendous effort into enterprise, and that's not an area that I think gets any visibility because
Yeah.
it's not fancy, it's not sparkly, it's not the talk of the town, but that's ultimately where people are going to be using it first because we have to work and it's only making work easier and better. Where are you finding the most use cases for it right now where people are really finding a lot of value?
Yeah, so I think a few big sectors we're seeing is education and training. Having a virtual classroom and you see your classmate, you can interact with classmates, you see content in 3D real life, right? But that's just taking the classroom and zooming out around you. But you could learn in immersive environments. So instead of reading a book about the plains of Africa and seeing what the cheetah is, you can actually be in the plains of Africa and seeing a cheetah run and maybe could even say above like cheetah, right? And so if you're learning a new language, suddenly that gets imprinted in your head like, oh, that is the word in English. So I think that immersive type of learning and training is going to be useful. A lot of training, especially in physical operations, operating machinery,
Yes.
medical devices, all those things where again you can't just read a book and you shouldn't just watch a video, right? You actually have to be hands-on and try it out. But maybe we've seen cases where setting up the training environment is very expensive, especially COVID is sometimes prohibitive, but it's sometimes just very expensive to do this
Yep.
training. And so having every employee be able to be in that virtual environment and even have these guidance. You don't even have a live coach at the time to say, like any game, right? Hey, spin this knob, like any onboarding tutorial, right? Try this, great job. Hey, now do this. Oh, you're doing it wrong. Like little feedback mechanics that will help that experience. That's very, very powerful. One really cool example is the firefighting teams.
Mm.
They put on fake fires and they put on like the heat and you have to operate. And what's really cool is they use the PC VR, the Vive Pro. I think the Vive Pro I. And what they do is they have this pipe device and has this machine, and they hide the computer in this fire distinguishing machine that they have to carry around.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
so
awesome.
it is PC VR, but it's like all built into their gear, and so. But they said that because it's really expensive putting up a training fireplace, they have to burn things down, right?
Yes. Yep.
So they said every time a fire person goes through this training, they save $10,000.
Wow.
So in that sense, like paying the cost of the headset is pretty simple. Now there's also we've seen applications in training like football training, which is pretty interesting. Like the quarterback is training in VR about in different scenarios what he should do. He should run left or throw the ball here, throw the ball there. And the nice thing is that whenever like when one route ends, instead of having everyone say, hey, now gather up, let's set up again, blah blah blah, and they have to find the other side of the opponent, like it just resets, right? So they can
Yes.
maximize how many times the quarterback immersively experiences the thrill, the excitement, the tension, and make a judgment call. Like they can do a lot of that in 10 minutes as opposed to one time in 10 minutes, let's say.
Hit that subscribe button to stay on top of the daily clips, or catch the debates and fireside chats live on the main channel down in the video description. See you next time, Space Cowboys.